It's an honor to be at the gravesite of Theobald Wolftone, the founding father of Irish Republicans. And a great honor for me to be on the same platform as Sean Crawley and Sean Whelan of the National Graves Association. This journey for me began last week in Brooklyn, New York. I stood at the grave of Matilda Tone, Wolftone's wife, who was buried in Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, New York. That is where my pilgrimage began, to come here today to honor her husband here at his final resting place in Bodenstown. The connection between Ireland and New York is more than symbolic. It runs deep in Irish history and the struggle. From Michael Davitt and the Land League raising funds in the Bronx, to the Fenian Brotherhood, headquartered on Broadway, to the Clan of Gael planning resistance from New York basements. The flame of Irish freedom has long burned on both sides of the Atlantic. O'Donovan Ross's body had to travel from New York to be buried in Irish soil, but it carried the fire of rebellion with it. Patrick Pearse knew the significance of the New York connection. Wolftone said break the connection with England was the first principle of Irish nationalism. He didn't say to negotiate it. He didn't say to manage it. He didn't say to share it. He said to break it. And while some who are in power today try to rewrite that legacy, we are here to preserve it in memory and truth. That's why I'm so grateful that an organization like the Independent Building Republicans that not only helped organize this national commemoration, but they ensure that Irish Republicans are given a send-off they deserve with an Irish Republican funeral. They uphold that sacred tradition. Because if they didn't do it, who would? There's forces out there in the media and in Leinster House who want to whitewash the struggle, to erase the names and sacrifices of the men and women who gave everything for a 32-county republic. I told Jerry McDonagh recently that I read at the end of his life Brendan Behan, who lit up the West End of London, and he was the toast of Broadway in New York, but his final wish was to have a Republican funeral. And Jerry told me that his own uncle stood as an honor guard at Brendan Behan's funeral. That tradition lives on through men like Jerry, and it does matter. What a contrast to the trial last month in Dublin, where a man from Belfast worked hard to convince a jury that he was never involved in the Republican movement, and he won. So let us hope that when his time comes, he will get his wish. No tricolor, no firing party. Let his friends in Leinster House in Westminster do the honors, toasting him for a job well done. We are living in challenging times where the Free State government is extraditing Republicans to the north to be tried under British law and British judges. These are the same politicians who swan around in their government cars, their salaries, their pensions, their bodyguards, all at the expense of Irish Republicans who paid in blood so they could stay in power. All their perks and mercs were all earned on another man's wound. But here today, we remember the man who didn't settle. Wolftone dreamed of a nation that would not compromise, a nation of equals, a sovereign republic. We will not forget that this is a promise that Ireland still owns Wolftone. And I just want to say, before I left Matilda Tone's grave, I scooped up some of the soil in front of it, and I brought it over with me. And Jerry McNamara is going to help spread it now on her husband's grave.